So you've been told online remote high-ticket sales is the most lucrative way to make 6 figures a year without starting your own business, requiring upfront capital, or building a big brand. But is this space complete BS? Well, stick around till the end and I'll answer your questions and more. So here's the reality, right? I think it's like 80% of people or whatever that get into online remote high ticket sales end up failing. In fact, actually that number is made up. I don't know the number. I would actually say that it's probably more than that though, to be honest. I mean, we've worked with so many reps, and I would say that because we place and train sales reps into really good remote high ticket selling positions. You can see in the description of the comments links for that. But we've seen so much of this, and I would say over 80% of people fail when they try to pursue this industry. If you don't know me, my name is Robb Quinn. I did 6 President's Clubs in sales between B2B, door-to-door, and B2C by the time I was 25, when I was selling vacuums, digital marketing for the Yellow Pages, and Lifetime Fitness gym memberships. And then I went and started my own sales agency. I went and sold for other people, kind of like what you're probably trying to do right now. That was back during the Tai Lopez wave. He was teaching people SMMA. I went in, I sold deals for those types of people. I made 250 grand my first year in the industry. That was 2018. And then in 2019, I launched the sales agency where we now train and staff online remote high ticket selling sales reps into really great offers. Again, links in the description for that. So here's the deal. I'm a little biased. All right. I'm a little biased because I love sales. I've loved sales forever. Sales saved me from so much shit. And so I'm biased, right? I'm a big believer that if you become a great communicator, you'll make a stupid shitload of money, because I did. I was making 6 figures a year, 22 years old. And just a couple years before that, I was on food stamps. So I'm biased, right? And then made my first $1 million on the internet when I was 28. So I'm very biased to sales. But let me tell you, I can't even say it's all the things I wish I knew when I started in sales, because the reality is I was told these things when I started in sales. I was awful when I started in sales. I mean, very, very bad. Imagine what the worst person is you've ever heard and talked to.
I was worse, okay?
I was 18 years old, and at the time I was selling a gym membership for a smaller company called Anytime Fitness. That's when I first started in sales, 18. I thought I was robbing people selling a $20 per month gym membership to them. Because remember, I'm on food stamps. I'm cleaning the gym for a free membership. At that time in my career, I was trying to go pro. I went to Worlds for Powerlifting. Fitness was my world. I had no money though. All I knew was how to be good at my thing. And so I just didn't understand how somebody could have money to pay for a bunch of stuff. So back then I was selling like the money was coming out of my own pocket. That's a big no-no when you're in sales. So my mentor told me back then, sales is not easy. You'll go broke and you'll never have anything if you can't learn to communicate. You're gonna have to talk to a lot of people. You're gonna get rejected a lot. These are all things I was told. I was also told that if you learn to be a great communicator, you'll never go broke. If you learn to be a great communicator, which means you're great at sales, you'll never have a problem finding a job. When things get really tough in the world because we go through ebbs and flows in the economy, you'll never be one of the people that are without a job or not making money. And so to me, that felt foolproof, right? Because it is recession proof. So that's why I'm so biased, because if you get great at this skill, you will never have to worry about going broke again, ever. No, I'll take that back. The minute that companies in the world stop needing to sell things, you're screwed, right? Because then you'll be out of a job. But as long as companies are selling something online or offline, you'll never be without a job. So let's now get into kind of the difference, right, between remote high ticket sales and conventional offline sales. So this is why I'm such an advocate for this type of industry in the e-learning space, selling online remote high ticket sales, because when I sold offline, because I started selling door-to-door first. I sold $3,000 vacuums called Kirby vacuums. And that sucked because, first of all, it was freezing, right? I was out in Kansas City and I was just so cold. I was wearing the same suit every day that I got from Kohl's. And I was just knocking doors. And, we go in there. And then they had this Mexican walk into their house, go vacuum their carpets. And I'm just trying to sell $3,000 vacuum. Which, by the way, wouldn't you believe it, they didn't think they needed to buy. And so that was very difficult because you're just walking everywhere all day long. You're driving around in a van looking sus. It's just very, very difficult. And unless you get really good at the one call close and overcoming everything as it comes up, and you have to learn how to hard close, and you have to learn how to do that without creating buyer's remorse. I mean, I did get very good, right? That's when I made my first $10,000. But at the same time, it's like, dude, I hated that It was not ethical, right? There's just so many things I didn't like about it. So I hated door to door. And I also felt like I was working, didn't feel like it. I was working insane hours. 6 a.m. we got up, we all packed into the van, we met at a gas station. And then from there we were working until 10 p.m. at night. And yes, believe it or not, people were letting me in their house at 9 p.m. at night to do this vacuum demo, which is absolutely crazy, right? And then now let's talk about the next season, right? Like when it comes to when I was selling B2C, which was the gym industry. When I was selling B2C at Lifetime Fitness, was the gym, they were like $200-300 gym memberships. And when I went in there, you know, I was in there all day long, 7 days a week, because you had to be. It was a low ticket item. In order for me to make $10,000 a month, which was my goal, I had to be in there all the time. But more importantly than the money, I had to be number one. Being number one was very, very important to me. And so I put everything on the back burner. I ignored my family. I neglected my kids. I did everything you would never want to do. It was all in pursuit of only making 10 grand a month, and I had to put everyone on the back burner. And at the time, because I was so young, I was like 22 years old, that made sense to me because my priorities were wrong and I had bad mentors, and I should have never done that, but I did. Had a lot of success there. I did 4 President's Clubs with that company, actually. Then I got poached to go sell in the B2B space for a company called the Yellow Pages. They were building out this digital marketing arm. And so we were selling digital marketing to local businesses. That's when I sold my first $100,000+ contract, it was 108 grand, to a Fortune 500 company. I cold called my way in, did the deal, all that good stuff. That's when I learned how to balance better. But the problem is, like, I was driving to businesses. Sometimes they didn't even know I was there. I'd be lucky to go on like 7 appointments a week because I'm calling my own leads, booking my own deals, and driving to the appointments. And I'm having to put together presentations and PowerPoints, just a bunch of bull crap that you don't need to do. I didn't know that back then. It wasn't until I learned while I was there and I sold one company for 108 grand that I was like, whoa, I wonder if I say the same stuff to other companies like them, if they would also want to spend a lot of money with me. Turns out they did. And then that's when I realized I could sell stuff over the phone for high ticket. And that's when I left that industry and went into the online remote high ticket selling industry, which really wasn't a big thing in 2018. I just, I knew that companies like the Yellow Pages were white labeling a digital marketing service. And I saw this guy, Ty Lopez, was teaching people how to start digital marketing companies. And I was like, well, if I just go sell their stuff and they're either doing it or white labeling it, I can negotiate higher commissions because they need deals sold because they suck at sales. So I can fill that void and make a lot more money. And then also travel the country, which I did. I was traveling literally every single month. I spent a ton of time with my kids, which is amazing. I literally became I got in super great shape. If you guys don't follow me, like, that's a big priority in my life. And so, by the way, follow me on Instagram if you don't. I post about my life and all this other crazy stuff that has to do with my life and sales. But I became the person I wanted to be because of the industry, right? I got all the stuff I wanted because of the industry. The penthouse, the nice car, the hot girl, like all the stuff. I got everything I wanted, spent more time with my kids, traveled all the time. So I'm a huge advocate for selling online versus offline because there's no freedom and flexibility offline. I had to ask to take vacations. I couldn't work from wherever I wanted to. I had to be in the office at certain times, or I had to be there all the time if it was door to door and B2C. There's really just very little upside to selling in the conventional sales world. There's people in the conventional sales world that get hyped about making 100 grand a year. There's some that are just like, they make 200 grand a year. They think they're literally the freaking best thing since sliced bread. They think they're the shit. And in the online selling world, if you're not making 200 grand a year, at a minimum 150 grand a year, nobody takes you seriously, right? That's kind of like the bare bones, minimum, especially for the types of companies that we staff people on. There's links in the descriptions for that because we train and staff sales reps into this industry. So go in the links in my description. But there's just really no debating it. Online high ticket sales is light years better, and that's coming from somebody that sold a lot in the conventional world. 6 President's Clubs by the time I was 25. I mean, that's pretty good. So today, without further ado, right, I want to talk about what keeps people stuck, broke, or burnt out and stuck on the sideline. Myth number 1, is it a pyramid scheme? No, dummy, it's not a pyramid scheme, right? First of all, whoever says that doesn't even know what a pyramid scheme is. You're selling a product for a company that offers a product or a service. Sometimes that's something called coaching. Sometimes that's something called a high ticket course, which basically means a series of educational videos, kind of like what you're watching here on YouTube, but it's consolidated in a chronological order on how they could accomplish the thing they want to do faster. A lot of people don't understand this, but people will pay you to be able to learn and do a thing faster without making all the mistakes, because mistakes cost people money. So a lot of the time, people that are coming into this industry, they don't understand that people will pay to not make a bunch of mistakes and to get the result they want faster. I know it sounds like common sense, but a lot of people can't fathom that for some reason. Number two, only pros can do it. So let me say this. It's not that only pros can do it, because anyone can do it. The problem in this industry is that it is so effing hard to get into a really great offer if you have no online sales experience selling already, which is kind of like a catch-22, right? Because it's kind of like building your credit. It's like, dude, how can I build my credit if you won't give me a chance to get a credit card to build my credit? And so that's why people work with companies like us, which again, link in the descriptions, like cheap plug, right? Go in there. That's what we've been doing since 2018, training and staffing reps. But if you do not work with a recruiting firm, it is hard as hell to get into a great offer. That being said, you could do it the way I did it. In 2018, I needed to separate myself from everyone, and I just went and closed these deals, and I live streamed myself closing for other agencies. Then I would upload it on YouTube, which you're on YouTube now. You can go look at those other videos on my YouTube. But that's how I got my name in the industry. It was like, hey, how could I let people know I'm good at this thing? Oh, what if I do something no one else is doing? Oh yeah, I don't just want to close deals. I want to show people I can close deals, and I'm going to do it in front of their freaking face, right? So I would live stream myself. Hundreds of people would watch me at a time while I one call closed 5-figure contracts for these digital marketing companies. That's how I built my reputation in the industry in 2018. But if you don't want to do that, then I would suggest a recruiting firm. Myth number 3, you need to have a huge budget or a huge following. Absolutely not true. Look, you can get into remote high ticket sales right now with literally no budget. You can go on Indeed. Now, you'll probably find a really shitty company to sell for, and you'll maybe make no money, but you could literally start there. There is a cost if you pay a recruiting firm though, obviously, right? Because they're going to shortcut your success and get you all the information you need really fast, and you're not going to have to deal with selling for shitty companies. So most people choose that route because they can typically pay back what they spend with all of their higher earnings and commissions. But that's probably the fastest way. But I mean, you could do it other ways. Like for me, I was down for the risk because I had nothing, right? Like when I left my job, I had nothing to lose. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? Screw it, I'll take on the risk. I'm not gonna spend any money. And so I did. I went and I live streamed myself closing these deals, but most people don't have the balls to do that. So if you don't have the balls to do that, I would say go pay somebody, shortcut your way to the top, and don't worry about it. Myth number 4, it's passive income. Dude, it's not passive income. Whoever is telling you that it's easy passive income is just trying to sell you something. They're lying to your face, man. They're lying to your face, okay? It's not passive income. You need to be able to sell deals consistently. If you stop selling, then you make no money. Now, there are some companies that will pay you some recurring commissions depending on like what type of thing you're selling, if you sell people on a payment plan, but not every company does that. So it's not passive income. My suggestion to you is get into the industry, make a ridiculous amount of money, especially while the industry is growing so rapidly. At the time I'm making this video, it's 2025, and it's bigger now than it was in 2018, and it's only projected to continue to get bigger. My suggestion is come in here, make your money, and invest it in real estate or invest it in something else that's gonna pay you passive income. This way you can just get good at one thing and then move your money somewhere else. Myth number 5, it's saturated. Like I just said, it's not saturated. It's bigger than it's ever been. Yes, there's more people doing it, but there's really only 2 types of sales reps, good ones and bad ones. And if you're a good one, you don't have to worry about the bad ones. If you're a good one, you'll get into any company you want to get into. If you're working with a recruiting firm and you're a good one, the freaking world's your oyster, man. We've seen sales reps that we've staffed make $42,000 a month in straight commissions. You can actually go in the links to my description, click on the page to book a call with us, and you'll see his testimonial. We've seen a lot of other people make more money than most CEOs in America, and that's because the companies that we staff for are the biggest companies in the industry. And we've staffed companies like Publishing.com, Gym Launch, Acquisition.com, Dan Henry, Joel Kaplan, so many more other companies. And so of course the earning opportunity is gonna be freaking massive. But here's what nobody else will tell you about this industry. It's not some come in here, get rich quick scheme, slick talking, manipulation, take people's money industry. The buyer is more sophisticated in today's market. You need to be great at sales. That's why people hire people like me, companies like us at the sales agency, to train you to get stupidly good at this, to make a bunch of money, but more importantly, the connections to put you into companies that you can make a bunch of money in. Your skill doesn't mean anything if you are not in a company where you can make a lot of money using your skill. A lot of people don't put 2 and 2 together. It's like if you have a really sick billboard, and you're like, oh my God, that billboard's the dopest billboard I've ever seen, but it's in a desert where literally there's no traffic to drive by it at all. You'd be a dummy to put a billboard in the desert, and that's how most people are. They're like, I'll just get so good at sales, or I have so much sales experience, anyone will hire me. Doesn't work like that, dude. Doesn't work like that at all, especially not in this industry. So let's wrap this thing up, right? Here are the myths that we just debunked. Number one, it's not a pyramid scheme. Number two, you don't have to be a pro to do it. Number three, you don't need a bunch of upfront capital or some kind of big brand to be successful. Number four, it's not passive income. And number five, the market is not saturated. So if you found this video helpful, man, comment below what the biggest myth or thing you're hearing about remote high ticket sales below. I'll reply to your comments down there. I'm sure we'll see some crazy stuff because there's some craziness going on with people talking about this industry being easy. So let me know in the comments the craziest crap you've heard about the industry. Or also let me know your positive experience about the industry, especially if you work with us, right? I would love to hear your feedback. And you better not forget to follow me on Instagram, man, official Robb Quinn. I talk about sales stuff all day long. I do it behind the scenes of my life all day long. If you're watching this video, in fact, tag me on Instagram, man. I will share you on my Instagram page. So that's all I got for you today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.